So I was going to do a live reaction to this chapter, but my recording lagged and it just stopped on me halfway through the chapter. So I've just decided to do just my initial thoughts after reading the chapter. And I want to start right at the end. What an amazing end to this chapter. It was structured so well since the start, since we had the performance and all the musical acts. And then we got the escape from the twins. And my initial reaction to it was just utter relief, a bit of joy when they escaped, and then just utter sadness when you find out from Togashi's dialogue, his monologues, that Kacho did indeed die. So it was very devastating right at the end, and so just brutal. And so far in this arc, the Succession Wars, we've had over 40 deaths. A lot of them have been fodder characters, but at the same time, still a lot of deaths. We've had 2 princes die in the last 2 chapters. So Togashi, he's getting through this Succession War arc. Obviously, people want to see the troop in Hisoka, but we're getting some decent stuff. It's not excellent material, but it's fine. I'd give it a good 6.5, 7, I'd say. And so what I want to talk about is the escape. After Melody's flute performance, we see that the girls have exited the Black Whale, but all these ghost-like hands, probably some Nen ability, stops them. They have to go back to the ship or they'll die. We don't know yet if it's only the princes. It probably is though, not just the other members, the guests on board the Black Whale. But we know from the twins, Nen Beast, that Fugetsu opens the door, the wormhole gate, and once they've exited the end, only Kacho can reopen it. Kacho, the one that died in this chapter, the 10th prince. And so what we obviously see is the ghost hands killed Kacho, and we know that Nen becomes stronger after death. It's one of the main points in the series. So what we happen is a clone. It's a conjure type Nen ability. It's taking the aura of her dead body, and it's essentially a clone now. So the clone is able to open up the door at the end and go back to the start. So, and the saddest part about this is Fugetsu doesn't know it's a clone, and no one does at the moment, because it's not like a manipulating ability. A Nen user could see the difference between that. You can't use Gyo to see this conjure clone, because you can't use N on a conjure type Nen ability, because if the clone did use In, that would mean that it would go completely invisible. At the moment, I don't think this is any part emitter type Nen ability, because it's not kind of like Franklin from the Phantom Troops Nen ability, where he uses gun bullets with aura and to project them at people. So I don't think it's that. I really think it's mainly just a conjure type Nen ability, and definitely not manipulator, and maybe emitter we might have to see in the next few chapters. But I personally didn't really like Kacho as a character. In the earlier chapters in the last run, I just didn't like her personality, but it's sad to see Fugetsu. I thought she was a really cool character, and hopefully I want her to win the Succession Wars. Yeah, her or maybe Hulkenberg at this stage are the ones I want to see be the winner at the end. But it's very interesting to see, because it's a clone, and maybe Melody will be able to tell the difference, because Melody can hear the heartbeats of different people. When he notices a difference, he might notice that there's not an actual heartbeat in the clone, and because Melody's on Fugetsu's team, she might just, they'll talk about it and whatever, and they'll probably just work something out and not tell everyone else. So they might just keep it secret, but we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. Also, in this chapter, we saw that Melody has noticed that Prince Benjamin and the second Prince Camilla can use Nen. Now, the obvious reason for this is Melody probably overheard it from one of Benjamin or Camilla's guards during the 5-day break that we just had. So that new dialogue in the chapter, I'm pretty sure that, just self-explanatory there. But I really liked how we got the performance of Melody. That art panel was amazing in this chapter, and I can't wait when it gets adapted in 2045. It will be a long time, but especially that whole performance arc, if they can flesh some of that out. I personally would have liked it to be better if we had more of a My Hero Academia performance musical art show, where they had the cultural festival. I won't give any spoilers, but they just set it up very well. We didn't need it all like that, but kind of just in between. If you read My Hero Academia, in the Gentle arc, the second latest arc, you would know. But I will also mention that the security guard that died in this chapter, Kini, that was foreshadowed 2 chapters ago, and the panel's actually very similar to what Togashi used in this chapter. But that's all for my initial thoughts on this week's chapter. I really did like the pacing and how Togashi structured it. It just got more dramatic right at the end. And I will just mention one thing, Kacho and Fugetsu, they look very similar, like Gon and Killua. I will put a panel in in the video now just to show it, but I just found this very funny on the internet. But that's all my initial thoughts this chapter this week. Hopefully next week I'll get a live reaction read through. Hopefully the video doesn't lag. Quick time, what the hell are you doing? But thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to always get the read through when I put it out. Thanks guys, have an awesome day.